Our vision for launching Open Arms was to provide something for the people in the community that looked at everything that was being offered by churches in the community that just didn't fit them. So we were trying to really design a church for unchurched people, or for people who didn't feel like the traditional church worked for them. So we tried to design a church for people who were single. We tried to design a church for people who had experienced the heartbreak of divorce. We tried to design a church for people who didn't have a church background and were coming to Christ just out of the world. And so our goal was to offer a church that could relate to and connect with people that didn't connect with any other kind of traditional church that was in the area or the region. Oh, I think some of my best memories, my first one would be while we were working on the building to get ready, Dale Weimer was our technician who was installing our projection system and running the wires for that. And while Dale's working at the church, I'm talking with Dale and just having conversations with him and finding out more about him, and I found out that he's a drummer. And so I invited Dale to come and to play drums and be a part of our worship team before our first service. And Dale thought about it, came back and said, okay. And Dale's been there ever since. I can remember beginning guitar lessons to people at Open Arms. We would come to church early, and I would give free guitar lessons. And now a number of those people are on teams for worship. And it's pretty neat to see people that you started with, teaching them they didn't know anything about playing guitar, and now years later they're just regulars on the worship team. It's kind of neat to see what God did and how He enabled us to grow our own. But there are a number of musicians that we taught guitar lessons to. We would come early before worship started. I think our services were at 5:30. We'd come like 4 o'clock, and we'd just give free guitar lessons to whoever wanted it. And it just worked out pretty neat. And we developed probably 4 or 5 guitar players, and they went on beyond that and developed their skills. But it was just neat to see that we had an impact on younger people who turned around and gave that gift back to the church and are still doing it today. What I would say to the church family of Open Arms is that the work of Open Arms is just beginning. It's the tip of the iceberg. What God has created Open Arms for and what God has called us to do at Open Arms is just beginning. We have so many more networks now, more people that God has touched who can share the good story of the good news with others. And so many people have come to Christ through Open Arms, but so many more people still need to come to faith in Christ. And so I would say this is a great start, but I'd say let's keep going, because the best is yet to come.